and welcome back to my channel. I've got another crafty video for you today, and it's all to do with the 50th anniversary that's happening at Walt Disney World this year. So far they've released quite a bit of merchandise, including several pairs of ears, and they've also released a Luxe collection, which is just a sneaky way of charging extra for everything. So the Luxe collection, there's 3 pairs of ears, and one of them is this pair that I'm wearing, and I'll call these the affordable pair. I'll just give you a close-up look of what they're like. So they're like a black faux leather with an embossed print, and on the side says Walt Disney World 50, and that's embroidered in gold. And then the bow is a black velvet with like a sprinkling of sequins. So that's the affordable pair of ears. And then there's also 2 other pairs, and when I first saw these online I thought there'd been a mistake with the prices, so I was sort of laughing, thinking, oh, isn't that silly? But actually the prices were real and a bit unbelievable. So the first pair are similar to the ones I'm wearing, except they had gold ears with a plain black bow, and they retail in the UK for £180. That's on Shop Disney UK. So a bit out of most people's price range, I think. And then the ones that really made me laugh are a gold pair with lots of gold like rhinestones all over them, with a black velvet bow, and these are selling for £600. So as I say, when I first saw it I thought it was a mistake, so I was like laughing, but that is actually the real price. And I suppose because I've not been collecting the ears for that long, only a couple of years, I've never really been around for when they have the designer releases, so I didn't know like the kind of prices they actually sell for. So I was a bit shocked when I saw that, and I've just been fascinated by those ears ever since. I think because of the price tag, I was thinking, are they made of something like extra special, like diamonds, or I don't know, some precious gemstone? But I think they're actually just like the normal like plastic ones. But getting back to the point of this video, I thought I'd try and make some replicas of those ears at a more affordable cost. So to start off with, I bought a second pair of these ones because I figured the gold ones are basically the same, just different colour. So I thought I'd get these and try painting them to see if I can replicate the more expensive ones. Okay, so I've got 2 different kinds of paint here. I already had this gold acrylic, which I think has got a bit of a metallic finish to it. And then I also bought this gold spray paint, and I'm not sure which one to go with. I think I'll probably start off with the acrylic and a paintbrush, just because I'm a bit nervous of the spray and feel like I might do that wrong. And also if I did the spray paint, I'd have to like cover all the inside to make sure that didn't get paint on it. So I'm going to start off with this one, and I'm thinking it's probably going to need a couple of coats to make sure no black shows through. I've already done a little tester patch behind the bow, just to see like how it came out, and I was quite pleased with that. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest. But first, I nearly forgot, I need to chop the bow off because that's going to get in the way. and I'm also going to replace that with something else. Just trying to make sure I don't leave any brush strokes showing. Don't know whether this was the best brush to use. I thought, well, I was going to use a bigger one, but I wanted to make sure I could get into the little indentations. So I went for the smaller one, but it does leave like little marks. So I have to see what it looks like when it dries to see whether you can still see those marks. There is always a possibility I might go over it all with the spray paint. So I'll see how this looks first when it's dried. Okay, so I've done the first coat of paint on one side and I'll just show you how it's looking. You can see it definitely needs another coat, and at the moment there's still some like brush marks and some bits that are a bit thicker than others. So I'll see what it's like when it's dried and give it a second coat. So I'm just making sure I get in all the indentations so there's no black gaps left, which is why it's good to use the small brush. And then also making sure I've got the edges done as well. And I can see it's already starting to dry on one side and it's looking pretty good. So I'll just show you the difference. This side is the one I've just painted, so it's still a bit wet, and you can see it looks kind of messy and as though you can't see the pattern anymore. But when it dries, it seems to sort itself out, so that's good. So when it comes to painting the headband, I've just put it on one of our ear holder rings, just so I can do it without holding the headband, and it makes it a lot easier. So with the writing on the side here, I'm just going in with a little tiny brush to see if I can get all the gaps without going over the thread. So I've gone in around the writing with the tiny paintbrush, and at the moment I'm not sure if I like it. So I'm going to see what it looks like when it's dry, and I might end up just going over it with the paint. I'm not sure. So I'll wait and see and make a decision when it's dry. So here we are on day 2, and the first coat of paint has dried fully and it's looking quite nice. A little bit uneven though, so there's still some bits where you can see a bit of black shining through, so I'm going to go over them and give them another coat. And I'll probably try using a slightly bigger brush this time, as the other one did take quite a bit of time. So for the big part of the ears, a bigger brush. So I can't actually find my selection of brushes, so all I've got is this great big one, which might actually be too big, but I'll try it and see. It's probably fine. So I just wanted to show you the difference between one coat and two coats. So you can see this one looks more gold, as that one there's still a touch of the black showing through. This one I'm starting to lose the indentation of the design, so I'm hoping when it dries that comes back a bit, because on here you can see it's nice and pronounced, but it's looking a little bit lost on here at the moment. So I'm just going to let that one dry a bit before I do the other one, just to make sure that the print does actually come back. And back to the small brush, because I'm just more comfortable with it. The other one, I'm worried it might have put too much paint on, made it too thick. So even though this one takes a bit longer, I think I will stick with this, as this just has more control. Okay, so it's been a couple of days and I've actually done a third coat on the ears as well. I looked at them yesterday and they were looking pretty good, but there were still a couple of places where, like, depending on what light you had it in, you could see maybe a touch of black. So this is what they're like after 3 coats, and the finish on them is actually pretty good, I think. You can't really see any brush strokes, and the print, like the embossed print, is still visible, which is what I wanted. So you still get all the nice 50th design, but it's now gold. And the headband, that's also gold. And then I've left the embroidered bit of the writing on the side. So this is actually different to the actual gold ears, which I think has a black, like, Loungefly plaque on the side. But I'm just going to leave these. So now it's time to make the bow, and I've bought this black leather fabric, or faux leather fabric, and I'm going to try and copy the shape of the bow on the actual ears. So I'll start with cutting out a piece of this material. So I'm also going to cut a little strip for the centre of the bow. So this would be the centre of the bow that holds it together. Okay, so I made up the bow, but I hit a little snag because the glue doesn't really stick to this leather fabric very well. It just peels straight off. So I'm going to have to go in with a needle and thread and secure it with that to make sure it doesn't come loose and just fall apart. So I've sewn the bow together, and then at the end I just did some extra like cotton stitches looping round so I can glue this bit to the headband, and I'm hoping that the stitches will actually glue. And then if that doesn't work, I might have to add some extra stitches to join it to the headband. So I'll try gluing this first and see if it sticks. If it doesn't, I'll go back and stitch it. Okay, so I've stuck the bow on and they're finished. So I'll just show you a little close-up here of how they look. So we've got our leatherette bow and our gold painted ears. And they've got a lovely shimmer to them as well. So looking at the picture of the original ears, I did notice that the embossed print of the 50th anniversary does look a bit smaller on the actual gold ears, but I'm hoping no one will notice the difference. Also, the shape of the bow, I couldn't quite figure out how to get that exactly the same. So mine is slightly different, but again, I hope no one really realises. I think it's only a few odd people like myself that get very particular about ears and notice like the tiny things. So to normal people, they'll think I've got the deluxe £200 ears, but actually well, the original ears cost me I think £24. The fabric for the bow I think was £6.99, but I've still got a bit of that left. That was for like half a metre. And the gold paint I already had, but to buy I think this particular one that I used, I think these, I don't know if they're like £10, maybe more actually, because they're big, but I only use like a tiny bit of this, so you wouldn't need to get this much if you're wanting to make your own. This is acrylic, so there's probably numerous gold acrylics you can find, and like I say, you wouldn't need as big a pot as this one. So yeah, overall cost wise, maybe £35 if you factor in buying like a little bit of paint as well. So a big saving on the £180 ears from Shop Disney, and I think I'm pretty pleased with them. So for part 2 of this video, I'm going to be looking at making the super expensive £600 jewelled golden ears. So that's coming up in part 2. So thank you for watching if you've made it to the end. Please give us a thumbs up if you've liked this video, and subscribe to our channel for more like this. And I'll see you in part 2.